So as we start standing on 2 feet, I invite you to find a stance that feels comfortable for your body. Maybe that means your feet are parallel. Maybe that means your feet are hip distance apart, maybe something a little wider, maybe something more narrow, maybe sits bone distance apart. So you feel those ankles underneath hips. Just start to rock forward and back. Let your gaze be steady on something that isn't moving. If at any point you feel comfortable closing your eyes so you can focus more deeply on the connection between your feet on the ground, wonderful. Sometimes the sense of sight, it takes over and it's hard for us to engage with our other senses. So that's why closing our eyes can be helpful, but that's always a choice. And then start to rock from side to side. Maybe now it's okay to close your eyes. You can hold on to something. And start to notice how the weight is shifting from edge of foot more to center to inner arch, but it's the opposite for each foot. One foot comes to the inner arch, maybe gets lighter, the other foot a little bit more weight. Notice as you shift the weight from side to side, how you feel more engagement into that leg. Allow your body to very slowly come into a very sturdy central part. So I can feel my body almost making circles. But allow your body to become still without forcing, so that you feel this posture where ankles are underneath hips, hips underneath shoulders, shoulders back, palms forward, crown of the head lifting away from the feet, and press your feet into the ground. Feel your feet pressing down, pressing away from one another. Toes, they're light and spreading. You're creating this stable base. There's a bit of a soft bend in the knees. There's no rigidity. There's give. And then press, big toe ball mounds, pinky toe ball mounds, center point of the heel. Press that down and let your mind fully be in your feet and that connection. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the breath flowing through this alignment, how we're creating space. Chin back, ears back, shoulders back. When I was in recovery from chronic panic attacks and I would be standing within a group of people, which would normally just have me in my head, heart pounding, perspiring, just feeling so uncomfortable and self-critical, the last thing from present, I would feel my feet on the ground. I would take a deep breath in. And I would imagine sending that exhalation all the way down into those feet. And at the end of the exhalation, feel my feet on the ground. And I could almost feel this wash of calm come over me. And the thing is, when we calm our systems down, it's catching, right? It's powerful to create this boundary of calm. Feel those feet on the ground. Big breath in. Send your exhale all the way down to your feet. Now hands to your hips. I'll always be your mirror. Come to the right toes. Make circles with the right ankle here. More awareness and movement to the feet. Notice what it feels like to make rotations at your ankle joints. And then switch directions. We know that warming the joints of our body and rotating the joints of our body that do move into that range of motion can also be relaxing for the nervous system. It's always a pain-free range of motion though. Good, then place both feet on the ground. Big breath in. Breathe all the way down to your feet. Notice the difference between each foot. Other side, hands to the hips, rotation with left ankle. Notice if that feels different from the right. Notice if it wants more movement or less. And switch directions. Good. Plant both feet. Intentionally, purposefully press them down and away from one another. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the feet. Breathe down to the feet. From that firm foundation, we can flow. This is a study in rooting down to rise, intending to our nervous system so that we can expand and step into who we want to be. Feet rooted. From there, inhale, reach the arms wide and high. Ultimately, reaching fingertips away from feet, and exhale, lower arms down. Move with your breath. Beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement. End of the movement, end of the breath. So gauge your movement like that. We're not trying too hard, but see if you can match your breath and your movement perfectly. So you might be in a different rhythm than I am. End of the movement, end of the breath, beginning of the exhale. End of the exhale, end of the movement. End of the exhale, pause. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the flow in your body. I invite you now to find the internal thought, in this moment, everything's okay. Now, does that mean that in this moment, every single thing is okay? Maybe not, but in this moment, with your feet on the ground, in this moment, if you're participating in this class, in this moment now, feeling your feet on the ground, this is okay. So see if this comforting thought can be thread through this experience and how that lands on your system in this moment, in this moment. It's okay. Shake out those legs. Hands to the hips, a bit of a march. Bend the knees, just to the degree that that's comfortable for your knees. Now, feel your feet as they're landing on the ground. Feel sensations in your legs as one knee lifts and then the other. Where you feel that at the back line of the leg, where you feel that at your thigh. Warming up knee joints too before more of a dynamic practice. Let this be an inspiration for a morning practice. We can do this and brush our teeth, feel our feet on the ground, warm up our knees, little self-care for our knees before we head out to the day. And pause. Big breath in. Press your feet down. Long breath out. Feel your feet on the ground in this moment. I'm okay. Next inhale, reach your arms high. As you exhale, right arm down to right hip, up and over, side stretch right, both of your feet rooted. Press into the feet, inhale, come back to center, reach, and then as you exhale, bend the knees, hips back and down to any degree, recruit those glutes, press down into your feet, inhale, rise. And then exhale, left hand to left hip, up and over, side bend left. Chin back, ribs back, press into your feet. Inhale back to center, reach fingers away from feet. And exhale, take a seat. Feel those feet on the ground. Inhale, reach. And then right hand down, up and over, side stretch. Stop when you need to, or a few more rounds with your breath. Inhale, full body stretch. Exhale, knees right on top of ankles. Feel your feet on the ground. Inhale, root down to rise up. And exhale, up and over, side bend left. Inhale, press feet away from fingers. Exhale, press feet and knees away from one another, strong legs. Inhale, stand. Up and over, last time right. Waistline back, tailbone is long. Press into your feet, reach. One more seat. Feel those feet. Press up, root down to rise up, and then up and over, side stretch left. Inhale, reach. Bring the hands together. Notice the connection of hands together and draw the hands down. And eventually by your sides. Feel your feet on the ground. In this moment, I'm okay. Feel your feet on the ground. Position yourself so you've got the space to step back into a lunge. So I'll come to the top of my yoga mat, show you where we're going. Hands to the hips. You might hold on to a wall or your chair as you step the right leg back. It could be a small step, it could be a larger step. If you bend the front knee, see if that front knee can bend on top of the front ankle. Let the back leg be strong. It can be nice if both feet are facing forward and those frontal pelvic points are nice and even. So tailbone long, hug those outer hips towards one another. And imagine there's a zipper and zip from pubic bone to navel. Right? So you feel stable. Notice I've spent a long time kind of creating this stable foundation. That is the part of yoga that was so grounding, is so grounding. Feeling your feet on the ground, feeling the foundation of a posture. Either hands to the hips, inhale, straighten the legs, shoulders, chin and ears back. And exhale, bend that front knee, back leg strong, or add the arms as well. Inhale, option to reach high. And exhale, feel both feet on the ground, lower. It's what it feels like, not what it looks like. Inhale, reach. Chin, ears, ribs back. Exhale, feel your feet on the ground. Toes light and spreading. Back leg strong. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Maybe one more. Bring your hands to your hips, step forward, shake out the legs if you need to. Feel your feet on the ground, big breath in. Exhale all the way down to your feet. Press the feet into the ground in this moment. It's okay. Hands to the hips as you're ready. Left leg back. Open up the stance if you need to. Tailbone nice and long. Front hip back. Back hip forward. Hug outer hips towards one another. Draw the waistline back. Either inhale, legs straighten. Relax shoulders and face. And exhale, front knee bends on top of ankle. Back leg strong. Continue to stay aware of your feet on the ground. Toes light and spreading. And do we add the arms? Is that feeling authentic? A little bit more to match the breath with. Beginning of the exhale, root. Beginning of the inhale, rise. Mind is able to just rest on breath and body united. Hands to your hips, step forward, plant your feet so that they're parallel. Press them down and away from one another, arms by your sides, breath in. Notice your breath now too. Is it naturally lengthening? Does it feel like your exhale can get longer? Our long exhalations are a grounding force. Visualize the exhalations move down into your feet in this moment. It's okay. A little bit more challenge, possibly a little bit more balance. A balancing posture can be therapeutic to an anxious, distracted, chaotic mind. You might hold on to something as that right leg moves back. Once again, so here's the invitation. Press into the left foot. Make sure that left foot is a big, stable base, toes light and spreading, left knee right on top of ankle. Inhale. See if it's okay to either just put a little bit more weight into the left leg or lift the right leg and then step back down. Inhale, maybe we lift the right leg a couple of inches, maybe something more. And exhale, step back down. Hands to your hips. Think about those outer hips and frontal pelvic points drawing towards one another. So you've got this integrated space at your center, your core, almost pressing core strength down into your feet. Exhale, feel your feet on the floor. They've got you. Inhale. Maybe a lift. Exhale, lower. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Let this be light. Let this be playful. Let go of trying so hard. Let go of control. And then both feet come back down. Inhale. Breathe in. Exhale to your feet. Notice if there's a difference in each leg or each foot now. If one foot feels like it's rooted a little deeper, just notice that. And then hands to the hips, left leg back a bit. Let's prepare for this play. Relax into this. Inhale, maybe a little bit of a lift, maybe just more weight onto that front foot without the right knee caving in. Right knee right on top of ankle. Inhale. Maybe a lift. Exhale, lower, relax your shoulders. You might notice, like I'm noticing, that one side is a bit more challenging, and that is just information. Feel your feet on the ground. Inhale. Long, slow exhale. Sink into that support beneath you. Both feet on the ground. Big breath in. Soft knees. Press the feet down. Long breath out. Check that those feet are parallel. Press them away from one another. Inhale, reach those arms wide and high. To the degree that it serves you, bend your knees, hinge at the hip creases, come into a fold, maybe halfway to the ground without rounding the low back. Maybe the fold is a little bit deeper. Then inhale, lift the torso a bit so it's parallel with the floor. Keep the knees deeply bent, again, so the low back is spacious. Exhale, fold again. Press your feet to the ground. And then root down and rise up, arms wide and high. Connect the palms, feel that connection. Bring your hands down, heart center, and then arms by your sides. Feel your feet on the floor. Big breath in. Exhale down to your feet. In this moment, I'm okay. That's one half sun salutation. The invitation is to do that a couple more times. Key here, bend your knees as much as you need to. It's not about touching your toes. Hands can be on thighs. You can be folding with hands to your chair. What feels right for you for these next couple of rounds, okay? Inhale, reach the arms high. Press the feet away from the fingertips. Exhale, bend your knees, make a crisp hinge at the hip creases, come into a fold that serves you. Inhale, lift the torso halfway, chin and ears back. Exhale, bow once again. Knees can be as deeply bent as you need them to. Now feel your feet, root your feet down, press them away from one another, arms wide and high. And connect the hands, arms by your sides. Breath in. Long breath out. Feel your feet on the ground. In this moment, I'm okay. Last one, inhale. Bend those knees, take your time, bow. Move with your inhale. Use that entire inhalation to lift your torso halfway. And then exhale, bow. Root into your feet, strong legs, arms wide and high. Hands connect. Arms by your sides. Notice your breath now. Is it becoming smoother and clearer and deeper? Is your exhalation lengthened? Feel your feet on the ground. You can stay standing as you are. I'll just turn towards you, working with one more balancing posture before we get closer to the ground. It may mean that you're holding onto your chair or a wall this whole time. I'll be your mirror. Let's start on the left foot. Look down at the left foot, lift the toes, spread them, place them down, and then anchor that left foot like you are planting roots. Imagine that there's roots coming from the big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, center point of the heel. Micro bend with that left knee. Species of tree number 1. Right toes are a kickstand. Right heel above the ankle. These frontal pelvic points are level. Hug the hips towards one another. Hands together. Breathe like it's easy. Let go of gripping with toes, knowing that balance means coming in and out. Species of tree number 2. There's no better or worse. Foot presses into shin. Shin presses into foot. Both sides of the body hug in towards one another as the hands press towards one another. Species of tree number 3. Holding on to something, pretending to hold on to something also helps. Press foot into leg. Press outer hips towards one another. Hip points towards one another. Hands together. Relax shoulders. Relax face. Imagine that you could settle back. Feel the crown of your head lifting away from the standing root system that you can soften into. Soften those toes. Breathe like this is the easiest thing you've ever done. Gaze somewhere that is not moving and allow. Allow yourself to waver, to come in and out. Soft breath. Feel the base of you. Rebound from there. When you are ready, and I give you space to hold that, if that was just all of a sudden, wow, I can hold this. When you're ready, both feet on the ground. And witness that connection. Now, as we prepare for side 2, notice if there was a trying, a controlling, a forcing, a really wanting to get that right. Hand to the heart if so. Do we want to be good? Are we ever conditioned to want to be good? Whatever is enough. as we plant our roots on that right foot. Toes light and spreading, a little micro bend in the right knee. Find the species of tree that works in your body today. It can change daily. The foot is never pressing near the knee joint, though. Foot presses into leg, leg into foot. Outer hips hug towards one another. It's like both sides of the body squeeze towards one another as hands come to center. Lengthen the crown, and then soften the face and shoulders. Press into that foot. Keep deepening roots as you breathe like it's easy. Steady gaze. When you are ready and there is no rush, come out, feel, receive a deeper breath in and out, especially if you found you were holding that breath. Let the breath be free. Exhale flows all the way down to the feet. In this moment, it's okay. Turn so you're facing the top of your yoga mat. Inhale, reach your arms. Bend those knees and let's come down to a tabletop posture. So you could hold onto your chair as you come down. You could hold onto the wall as you come down. Come down in a way that feels appropriate for you. Wrist creases parallel with top edge of the mat. Now ground the hands. Spread your fingers, press down into each and every knuckle, firm around those elbows. Lift the face away from the ground, lift front body to back body, lift the right leg from the inner upper thigh. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, lengthen. Move with your breath. If it's better to come to fist or fingertips or forearms, do so. Otherwise, keep that strong connection between hands and ground, gripping gently into fingertips and pressing down. Both sides of the body seem to still hug in towards one another, so there's a lifting. And then gently switch. Moving with breath, beginning of the inhale. Lengthen, beginning of the exhale, end of the exhale, end of the movement. Come back down to your table, walk your knees further away, slowly come all the way down to your abdomen if that's okay. I recognize that sometimes laying on the abdomen does not feel good for a number of reasons. You can adjust this, you can skip this, you can move to your side. Know that we won't be here for long. Anchor the tops of your feet. And let the tailbone be long. Place the hands next to those low ribs. Pulses of baby cobra, so more length and lift. Make sure the tailbone is long and the low back feels spacious. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, and exhale, lower. Moving in time with breath. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Light on your hands. Inhale, kiss those shoulder blades, back of the neck in line with the spine. Exhale, lower. One more time, like your whole body could slide forward. And as you exhale and lower, rest your forehead on stacked hands or stacked fists. Receive a deep breath in. A long breath out. Feel all the connection points between your body and the ground that's holding you. And in this moment, it's okay. In as few movements as possible, simply flip over to your back. One more movement in this sequence before we breathe. Bend the knees, ankles underneath knees so that your knees are comfortable. Perhaps there's padding beneath the back of your head so that your chin is neutral and the back of your neck is in line with the spine. Lengthen tail away from crown and feel how now the back of your body is held by the floor. If it's okay for your shoulders, reach your arms above your head just to the degree that that serves you. Parallel feet, press into them. As you exhale, lower your arms towards the ground, and if it's okay, lift the hips an inch or two. Recruit those glutes. Inhale, slowly lower the hips as you reach the arms back high. And beginning of the exhale, start to lower your arms down as perhaps you lift your hips. You can skip that if that's not good for the low back. Inhale, slowly lower, reach the arms high. Beginning of the exhale, press into your feet. Abdominal wall engaged so the low back is protected. Inhale, lower, reach the arms. Couple more. Match breath to movement. Next time you lower your arms, lower your hips, open your feet a bit wider, allow your knees to rest upon one another. And if it's comfortable, I invite you to place your hands to the lower abdomen on either side of the navel. When you breathe in, navel rises. Exhale, navel falls. Feel the connection of the back of your body against the ground and allow yourself to settle. In this moment, I'm okay. Feel the flow in your body now. The energy level, the flow of breath. Notice what's changed. Imagine now that your torso was segmented into 3 parts. Your lower abdomen, your rib cage, and your chest. In this breath technique called 3-part breath, I invite you now to breathe and imagine that you're only filling that lower third, the abdomen. Hands connected to the lower abdomen give you feedback here. So that as you inhale, you feel expansion around the abdomen and the low back. And exhale, there's a contraction, a softening. Inhale, fill. Just the lower third, best you can. And exhale, navel falls. Breath can be slightly deeper than normal, or you can absolutely have a normal breath rhythm. Sometimes when we slow the breath, we become lightheaded, and that's okay. It might mean that the breath is just too slow, and you can regulate it. Now place the hands on the lower ribs, please. Next, as you inhale, fill and expand the lower abdomen, and then lift that breath to expand the rib cage. And then empty from top to bottom, emptying from the rib cage and then the abdomen, best you can. Fill from bottom to top, inhale into abdomen and rib cage, and exhale, emptying rib cage, emptying abdomen. Continue to fill bottom to top and empty. Take some time. Allow the exhale to be complete and long. And allow the inhale to simply come naturally. Filling and emptying these first two parts. Now bring your hands up to the chest. And inhale, fill the abdomen, the ribs, and breathe all the way up to the collarbones. And then exhale, empty chest, ribs, and abdomen. Just a few more rounds. Breathe in, filling bottom to top. One segment at a time, and empty top to bottom, one segment at a time. Let all of the control of the breath go. You can place one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the chest, or arms can be by your sides. What feels most comforting? And then let the breath be normal, let the breath be regular, let the breath be free. And feel the flow in your body and the flow in your mind. The flow in the head. Notice the effect that that movement, that breath has had on all of these aspects: physical body, energy, breath, mind, heart. Do we feel now that we have a closer connection to that center point that we more deeply connect with soon in meditation? Slowly turn your head from side to side. Slowly turn your whole body to one side, resting your head on your arm. Feel your body's connection to the ground now. In this moment, it's okay. Press into your hands. Use the strength of your arms to come back to a seat that serves you. Bigger breath in when you get there. Longer breath out. Notice. Now, notice specifically as you take a deep breath in and a longer breath out. Notice the difference in your breath. Notice how the breath is linked to the mind. As the breath becomes free because of appropriate movement, deepens, lengthens, what happens to the mind? What happens to the emotional tone?